everybody, and welcome to Movie Couple Live. This is a show where we talk about the latest in movie news and pop culture. I'm Wendy.
I'm Dustin.
Happy Saturday, you guys. So happy to be here. We have lots to talk about today, including, of course, as we do for the past 4 Saturdays now, spoiler discussion for Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
We're also going to be talking about Alfred Molina coming in to play Doc Ock and a little bit of what he said about his role.
And Matt Mikkelsen added to the cast of Indiana Jones 5 and so much more. You guys, welcome to today's show. We're so excited to have you here. Just to let you know, we are talking about Falcon and the Winter Soldier spoilers today. So if you haven't watched the episode, as we get into that topic later on, or if you're very active in the chat, you're probably seeing a lot of spoilers at this point already. And with that said, we would like to ask everybody, as far as spoilers go, yes, we are going to definitely dive into spoiler category for Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but we'd like to typically leave that for towards the end of the show so that anyone who is not particularly interested in the show or have not had the chance to watch the show can kind of hang out with us for the first half of the show. And then, so basically we're leaving Falcon and the Winter Soldier towards the second half of the show. And if you could try to refrain from giving up too much spoiler in the chat, just for the people who can still interact without being seen like, oh my God, no, I wish I didn't know about that.
My eyes! I just ruined everything.
Everything's ruined.
I can't believe they all died at the end of the last season episode.
Oh my God, can you imagine? Can you be that person?
Oh, jeez.
There was always like that one friend that you have in the group that, you know, back in the days when you come out into a movie and from a movie and then they just have to shout out the ending of that movie as we pass by the people who are queuing up for the second showing. And it's like, shit, I don't know them, you know? So,
I've actually had a couple of those experiences. I remember
yourself?
Well, it was actually with my mom. It was funny because I think it was, we were watching Ace Ventura and then like my mom comes in and she goes, oh, have you found out that Ray Finkel is Einhorn? And we were like, what?
Why? You know, the proper thing is what's happened so far. That's the way if you want to have like if you're discussing a comic book, a TV show that you know maybe not everybody has watched up to speed, that is like the super safe question to ask. Yeah, because then you know what to not say.
I think the biggest spoiler that was ever ruined for me, though, I was in the middle of listening to Harry Potter. I think I was on Goblet of Fire. And what is it called?
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, spoiler alert. And what is it called? The Order of the Phoenix had just come out. Someone else had read it and goes, oh, have you found out that you know, that if you guys haven't seen it, plug yours.
How many years has it been, though?
It's been a while.
I think you're safe. Falcon and the Winter Soldier literally came out yesterday.
Yeah, and they're like, did you find out that Snape killed Dumbledore? And we were like, we're not even on that book yet. I'm so going to kill you.
Yeah, and that was just when I think that book had just come out, right? I would have been like, wait, what? No, because it just takes away from the experience that you would have been like, wait, what? I remember getting to that part in the book, and I remember very quickly leafing forward to go, did that really happen or did my eyes deceive me? And then going back and reread what I had just read several times through just to make sure that my eyes weren't like I wasn't going crazy. But anyways.
Hold on a second. I got a comment in the chat. Blade GTR has said that the biggest spoiler for him was someone ruined The Sixth Sense. Yes.
That's the whole movie.
That's the whole movie.
That's the whole movie. How rude. Because then you know the whole time and the weight of it all doesn't matter. Oh man.
That is I would be so mad. I'd almost want to punch the person.
I'd be so upset. But you guys, we have a ton of topics to get through. And this one particular, we didn't get to talk about last on Wednesday, which it was my fault. I should have.
Well, we were going a mile a minute on some
but
things.
It was literally in the title, and I had been complaining about it all day, and we didn't talk about it. So we're going to go ahead and bring it back, a little retro topic, revisit here, and talk about ArcLight Cinema closing its doors. So as you guys know, all movie theaters during the pandemic has taken pretty much a really big hit financially.
That is an understatement.
Yes, where I think like they had to file like refinance, or like it was like not them specifically, but
all these different theater businesses
because they had to shutter during
all of the smaller ones are the ones that are going to have to go under, and any of the big big companies that kind of could write it out are just going to buy them all up. We're all going to end up with maybe like 2 different movie theater brands at the end of this. And yeah, they're just going to have like a monopoly over everything.
So now we find out that, ArcLight Cinema looks like it's not going to be able to reopen. I guess the losses outweighs what would gain for them to kind of rebuild all that stuff, which is really sad because yes, I can go to an AMC, or actually all we have near us are AMC. I think we have to drive a bit to get to a Regal. I don't think there's a Cinemark near us at all.
Nope.
Movie Co, I think that's more of East Coast thing. I remember having one in Florida.
I think there's some in Ventura County, but that's
far.
That's still kind of far away from LA County.
So with ArcLight, I have so many memories going to ArcLight, like specifically one of those like LA cool things to visit if you're first like new to LA. It's the Dome.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
the Cinerama Dome. So you drive by it, you can't miss it. It's next to Amoeba Music, I think.
It's been attacked by Godzilla and also the Minion on top. They usually have like a huge inflatable thing on top of the dome, and now seems like it's gonna be closed for good now until someone else comes along and buys it up.
Yeah, the ArcLight. I've been inside the dome just a couple of times. I've been to the ArcLight Cinema a little bit more, and I just love the theater. The movie-going experience is always spectacular. The staff is super nice. They have a like real butter for their popcorn.
Yeah, that's right.
Which is really, and they layer it for you. You just have to say, I want my, like butter layered or whatever. And what they'll do is they'll put a little popcorn and they'll put the butter in, and they'll put a little bit more popcorn, a little butter in. It's like nice and bougie, which I like. Totally. No, it is a little bit bougier of a concession stand though. They have like they're like chicken sausage or Polish hot dog or whatever. They have their fancy ice cream.
The fancy ice creams
your sparkling water and whatever it is. But ArcLight specifically, they don't show you go there for the film experience. It's not like ad in your face as you're sitting down waiting for your movie to happen. They also like in my years working with Collider, like a lot of the Collider screenings have been held there. A lot of press screenings has been held there.
Yeah.
So it's like a place that I would frequent. I would probably, depending on the screening, I would go visit on an average like once a week at least.
Yeah, and I remember all of the special events that we've gone down to see down at that ArcLight. Hey, the very first time we saw Avengers was at an ArcLight. Was it? Yeah, and I remember we lost our minds watching that movie. And there's a lot of just good memories that are attached to ArcLight. And I'm really gonna be sad to see this company go under.
What I'm hoping, because I do. Well, one, hopefully somebody can maybe swoop in and buy them and just
kind of save them.
And also, but I want them to keep the integrity of that is ArcLight. That's what makes the theater going experience so great. So they're, I want to kind of keep the core of that, kind of have that intact. Obviously what the theater looks like. So I'm just really sad for it to go. I really know of only 3 ArcLight locations: Hollywood, Sherman Oaks, and Pasadena. I've gone only once. Sherman Oaks a couple of other times. And the only reason I ever went to that Sherman Oaks Galleria Plaza area was specifically for ArcLight.
Yeah.
And that's it. So, but mostly we've gone to the Hollywood one, which is a great location. So sad to see it go. Hope that maybe somebody can come in and say, hey, we'll purchase as things starting to reopen up and things like that. So that's what we're hoping. So yeah, I'm ready to go back to the theater viewing kind of habit, kind of start that back up again.
But what are some of your guys' favorite movie theaters? I know there's Cinemark out there, there's AMC.
Cinemark's great.
There's just a ton of different movie companies out there. What are some of your favorite ones to go and visit? I mean, I have to admit,
remember United Artists?
United Artists.
Remember that?
Mm-hmm. Which was I think now it's bought out by Regal. It's like Regal and United Artists merged. But I mean, there's so many of them out there over the years that have just kind of consolidated. And I have to admit, what is it like? Cinemark? Cinemark. My apologies. I've gone to a few of those, and I thought they were really cool, really clean, very well kept.
Nice theater seating. The ones the Cinemark I got to visit was when I got to go to TIFF. So I don't think I've gone to a Cinemark here in the States, but it's beautiful there. It's very clean. The concession's great. Like that's equally important to the seating and viewing experience as well as concession. Like I always 99% of the time get concession, even if it's just a soda. I get it.
It's something you always. I mean, I always have to get popcorn.
You need it. Just don't be just pre-open your candy wrappers while you're waiting for the show to start. Don't be that person where there's like a dramatic, serious, heavy scene, and then you hear crunchy, 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 and you're like,
who am I going to smack? I'm going to throw my drink at you.
We have a super chat from Vanja. Vanja, hey, thank you so much. Vanja writes, my birthday is on Monday. Wish me a good one, Vanja. Happy birthday. Happy early birthday on Monday. What should I watch on Monday? Well, that depends on what you have.
And also, what are you in the mood for?
Yeah.
I mean, some people really want to see a good action movie or a good comedy. Some people, are like, no, I want to see it. I want to cry, kind of a thing.
I don't want you to cry on your birthday. I would say, Vanja, if you're into superhero stuff and you're totally okay with a little bit of graphic violence, we would highly recommend Amazon Prime's
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday from Navi! Oh my, so cute.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, so cute.
Here we go. I'm gonna hold you like this now.
Hold you like a baby. I like how she eyes are just stare off, like she's staring kind of right here. She's not looking at me or Dustin, just no eye contact. Because when she gets in front of the camera, she gets weirded out. Oh my God, that's adorable. We would say Amazon Prime's Invincible, if you're okay with graphic violence. The show, the story, the animation, and the voice talent, of course, writing is fantastic. We love it so much. I think episode 5 is out right now on Amazon Prime. So if you have it, we would highly suggest you watch that. But again, happy birthday, Vanja! All right. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and dive into the next topic here. So Mads Mikkelsen joins the cast of Indiana Jones 5. We know that, of course, Harrison Ford himself, obviously playing Indy. We have Phoebe Waller-Bridge playing a TBD character. We have our speculations of who she could be, a fellow archaeologist, professor type person, hopefully not his daughter.
Yeah.
I feel like
I hope she's not.
Don't need to do
as long as she is not his daughter or his love interest, because both of those would be kind of weird.
So for Mads Mikkelsen, we were kind of talking about this while we were having lunch prior to the show. And Dustin goes, you think he's the villain? I'm like, yeah. Literally in the same way I was thinking, just because we love him. We love seeing him and stuff. And I think he, one, have a lot of fun in a villain role. And two, it'd be a lot of fun to watch him as a villain.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think.
I want the ultimate betrayal, though. I want like new best friend or whatever, or some sort of somebody working very closely with Indy or something like with good reputation, and then turns around and stab him in the back.
They kind of did that in the fourth one.
Do it again.
And I'm kind of like, I didn't quite like how they handled it.
Right.
I think just keeping it simple, have him do the kind of characters that he's good at doing. But I'm interested to see on what they do with him. He's a really good actor.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. When you first look at him and you kind of go through his filmography. Is that you're kind of like, okay, he's probably the bad guy.
Yeah.
However, he's done a lot of good roles where he was the good guy. I mean, Galen Erso. Galen, that's what I meant.
Jin is his daughter. Yeah.
That is correct.
See, kind of to what Shane is saying is, or he could be an old friend of Indy's. That's kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I think that would just be cool because I feel like the two of them could have a lot of fun with their scenes as well. But also, maybe you're right. We have seen sort of, close friend to Indy and then trust him, and then he turns around and stabs him in the back, not literally, figuratively.
Or what happened in Temple of Doom. He had that helper that kind of came out in the bar, and then he gets shot and dies, And it's kind of like that, how dangerous of a job Indiana Jones still has. But I'm kind of curious on what they're going to. I mean, honestly, just when they first announced Indiana Jones 5, I was very much going, how are they going to do this? This is going to be interesting on where they're going to go, what story they're going to tell. Are you going to get Harrison Ford swinging on the whip?
Yes.
Kind of a thing. Are you going to have another, is he going to have a possible moment to where he's like, not on diarrhea day? Not on diarrhea.
Oh my God, that's so funny. I can't believe that story is actually true.
Mm-hmm.
It's hilarious. But
when you get one of the most memorable, iconic fight scenes in all of cinematic history. Wah! Bang!
So yeah, we will see. I don't feel like, I think Mads Mikkelsen, someone of his caliber, will be guaranteed more than just a cameo worth of screen time.
Definitely.
You know, so and watch all of us be wrong. Like, he's actually not the villain. He's just like a supporting character.
It's possible.
You know,
I mean,
like,
he could
along
play
along for the ride.
He is quite versatile. I mean, he can be very gruff looking at moments, to where he could be someone that is helping Indiana Jones get through a certain kind of wilderness or into the middle of nowhere kind of a thing. He also could be cleaned up very well and play kind of like that sophisticated aristocrat kind of a guy.
Yeah, he's super versatile. So excited to see once everything's revealed, who's going to play what. Very excited about that. We have a super chat from Nash, who writes,
thanks, Nash.
Thank you, Nash, who writes, Mads Mikkelsen is also replaced Grindelwald in Fantastic Beasts 3, hopefully better than Johnny Depp. Interesting. Is it because they let Johnny Depp go because of all the stuff that's happening,
because of all of the drama that's happening?
Yikes.
But you know what? I mean,
I forgot about that, actually.
Honestly,
that they had to let him go. I for some reason in my head, like, thought that they were just like pausing on production and he'll be back. I actually literally forgot that they had let him go after all that, or in the midst of all that.
But honestly, I think he would make a really good Grindelwald.
I just want Colin Farrell back. That's all I want.
Yeah, he was good in the first one.
Look, as much as I like Johnny Depp, I didn't love his version of Grindelwald. I like Johnny Depp in a lot of other things, but I think and it's not just him, it's not that character specific. I think for me, it's really overall that franchise, the Fantastic Beasts. It just didn't resonate with me. I'm not target. I thought I was the target audience because I love Harry Potter and the Wizarding World, but as it turns out, I wasn't. I was like, honestly, a little bored through the movie. Yeah, and that's not something I want to say about, Harry Potter and that kind of world. So
both Fantastic Beast movies had very much an uphill battle. Yeah, with them, because one, you are doing a prequel to a franchise that everyone loves, but it's in a time period to where the main character of the previous story is not involved in it whatsoever. Correct. His family isn't involved with it. The only connection that you have is his mentor, the school, but that's not even the magic, right? It's really pretty much removing you from everything that made the original very magical. Yeah, and doing that really just gave them a huge uphill battle. Mm-hmm. And the first one, I think you could have been like, okay, we can still go with this. We can still run. And then the second one was just from how many people severely disliked that movie. They have a huge hurdle to get over in order to continue that. And maybe bringing in new actors, Mads Mikkelsen, who's to be Grindelwald, will give it kind of a new flavor, see what he can combine with the writing and the way Johnny portrayed the character, because you don't want it to be like so completely different. Yeah, I don't know. I really should probably maybe rewatch the movies, but if there's anyone that's going to be hired to replace Mads Mikkelsen, I would say it is a fine choice. Yeah. Excellent choice. All right. Let's go ahead and move on to, because I'm ready to dive into Falcon and the Winter Soldier here. We're almost there. Let's go ahead and dive into our next topic. And that is it. We're talking about Spider-Man No Way Home. Alfred Molina is back to reprise his role as Doc Ock, who, can you imagine? This has been how many years? Over 15 years. Since he's played. Awesome. That's amazing. When he first played, it was 2003, 2004, something like that, in the Tobey Maguire movie. And according to a couple of interviews and some articles out there, the director of the film, John Watts, is saying that, like, in this universe, kind of nobody dies, is apparently. And so it says, I'm looking at some of the articles here, that basically the story for Doc Ock is going to pick up where it leaves off, which sounds reportedly will pick up from the final moment of him in the river. So if we pick it up right there and then beginning of the movie explains what happens to him, and also he didn't really die, or if there's like a multiverse sort of thing at play here. Mm-hmm. Because I think it would be cool if they took the same footage that they had at the end of the second Spider-Man 2, to where you see Doc Ock sinking into the water, because then they cut somewhere else, but you have like this moment where you just get a few seconds longer, and all of a sudden, and you have like that he gets sucked into another
There's some weird multiverse vortex in the river.
And then all of a sudden you see his character fall through. Oh my
gosh.
And Wendy and I were talking about this a little earlier, how we could get Doc Ock from Spider-Man 2 and Doc Ock from Into the Spider-Verse. I think that would be awesome.
Doc Ock Con.
And I mean, I love what they're doing. I want them to do more and more. And just a part of me is kind of like, go for it. Just go completely off the wall. Add just a whole bunch of different characters in there. Bring back. You're bringing back Tobey Maguire. I don't think they're bringing back Andrew Garfield.
I don't know how much of it is confirmed as opposed to rumors. I don't think anybody was caught on set in photos. Chat, if you're watching this live or if you're watching on the rebroadcast, please let us know via comments or chat if Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire is confirmed. I would say I feel like I've heard more solid news about a Tobey Maguire appearance than an Andrew Garfield one, but I would like to see them both because that would kind of complete the Spider-Verse for me. That would be kind of cool, but I honestly don't know.
Miles Morales.
Yeah, yes. They can all show up and like Miles would be like animated. That would be cool because that's his universe for now.
That is true.
I think that'd be cool.
Yeah, bringing a few animated characters, so you have kind of like a Who Framed Roger Rabbit kind of a thing going on.
Let's see. We have let's see. Didn't somebody just write?
Yeah. Oh, what?
Oh no.
We've got two.
I know. I just lost the comments. This happens every time.
Oh, the comment that you wanted?
Yeah, because
you saw a comment, you're like, oh, that's
and I go to click on it just so I can highlight it, and then the entire chat just goes, and then it goes way up, and I literally cannot find it now. Oh man. And it had something to do with Tobey Maguire too. I cannot find it.
It's in there somewhere.
But here it is. Okay. Joe B reaction writes, Toby was seen at the fittings.
Okay.
So potentially that's like, it's kind of confirmed, but not really at the same time. I always feel like it's not confirmed until the director or the actor themselves or the production itself, the studio, say it.
It's sad because it's so hard these days to keep a good cinematic
social media everywhere. Take a picture of you with my iWatch, or Apple Watch, whatever it's called. I don't have one.
News is spoiled left, right, and center.
Yeah.
It's hard to keep, even just who's cast in a certain role.
Yeah.
To be secret.
And we're super excited for the reappearance of Doc Ock. Like I loved his character. I love Alfred Molina's portrayal of it.
He's one of the best villains, I think, in that in the San Raimi Spider-Verse. And
the actor himself is actually voicing a little bit of concern about kind of reprising his role because it's been so many years. So he was saying in a lot of the articles, like visually, you can do a lot of things, right? You can light somebody in a certain way so they look as young as they did 14 years ago, or you can go in and do a little like movie magic and remove some wrinkles or whatever, maybe if like that's a concern, but he's worried about his physicality on taking on the role. But then later on in the article, he did talk about like, I kind of forget that I don't have to sit there and actually bash somebody's head in. It's really all the octopus arms that are doing that. So as long as he has got his menacing presence, which I think he's mastered, I think we're going to be A-okay. But either way, we're super excited for this news. I think it's really great. A couple of super chats to get to, and then I want to go back to the chat and see what everybody else is saying about Doc Ock. This one comes from Marvin. Thank you so much, Marvin. Marvin writes, going back to the Harry Potter stuff that we were talking about earlier, many kids' magic stories, but Harry Potter got so much controversy. My theory is it was staged to sell tickets. What's your theory?
Controversy
within the story itself or the JK stuff? Because I don't think the JK stuff is staged.
No,
I think that's True Colors coming out.
I'm pretty sure, that True Colors coming out, and also there's a lot.
The cast members have also spoken out about it as well. So
to where I'm like I'm even sure like their publishers are publishers are going, no, don't say any of that stuff.
Or do say it and let us know this is how you feel.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather know than what I'm saying. Like, and also I don't think it's staged to sell more tickets. I think that franchise has made so much money and it continues to make money.
Yeah.
For its merchandising. There's still, I'm sure, new readers every day. Yeah. Merchandising, the lands and things like that. So, I don't think it was staged. And then another one, also from Marvin.
Oh, thank you so much,
Thank you so much, dude. Marvin writes, if you can make your own villain and comeuppance for them. Ooh, notice people expect complex heroes, but from Sidious to Satan, one-dimensionally evil villain are not only appealing, but believable. So if you can make your own villain and comeuppance for them.
I've always
Great
thought
question. Deep dive. Here we go.
That the best villains are the ones that do not think that they're villains, kind of a thing. The sympathetic characters, the ones that you could see, it's kind of like that one bad day kind of a thing that made them go to this extreme, to where they do have a very, what is that called? A sympathetical goal, to where you're like, okay, you know what? That is a problem. I do agree with you. But it's the way that you're doing it that is just wrong. And there's trying to have this character that has this noble pursuit, but is not going about it in the right way and holds people and society to this certain standard. But then in the end, you flip it on them and hold themselves to that same standard. And that is what actually makes them crumble, kind of a thing. So having that, being able to shine that light on, or hold that mirror up to someone who thinks that they're super noble. That's what Vanja said. Vanja just said Magneto. Where Magneto is a really good villain, but he's doing exactly, he's doing to humanity what the Nazis did to the Jews, and yet he's saying, "Oh, look at this terrible thing that humanity did to itself." But yet, look at what you're doing to an entire species. Kind of a thing.
Yeah.
So that's a perfect example. Magneto is a really good example of a very sympathetic character motivation. Kind of like you've seen this trauma. You've seen
Thanos less so. I feel
Thanos,
honestly, his solution was to off half the population. Like, just make more. Pretty cutthroat.
You had the gauntlet. Just make more supplies, kind of a thing. Make more resources.
But see, his mind went straight to what's going to be easier?
Just kill everyone.
Just kill everyone, or half. It's which is crazy. A couple of you guys are saying this in the chat too. I see Magneto from Vanja. I see. What?
Blade GTR. Same here.
Oh,
One of my favorite Batman characters is Mr. Freeze. And I really like how he is.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. It's one of those characters. I'm sorry, Navi, but you're starting to squirm a little much. Is one of those characters that he just wants to do everything he can to try and save his wife. But since this one goal has blinded him so much, it kind of makes it so he ignores all of the other tragedies that he is causing. How many of now, in a sense, himself is he making, kind of a thing, by maybe taking away someone else's wife or accidentally injuring someone else who now is losing their own loved ones.
Right.
So yeah, Mr. Freeze is brilliant. And honestly, when Batman and Robin came out, I was so excited when they said Mr. Freeze. I'm like, oh, are they going to get Patrick Stewart? I would love to see Patrick Stewart. And then they said Arnold Schwarzenegger. What? I never thought of Mr. Freeze as Arnold Schwarzenegger. Now I can't think of what killed the dinosaurs, the Ice Age, which is wrong. A meteor killed them.
Oh gosh, yeah, I remember that. I was like, well, this is not where I thought it was gonna go, but sure, Castro movie stars, I guess. Yeah, no, that's a great example. Other villains that I really like, that's a little bit more complex. I would say Killmonger is one as well from Black Panther.
Yes.
He's a great villain. I'm a little sad that there's no, there won't be another appearance from him in the sense of other than like a flashback or otherwise, like, I don't think they're going to bring him back from the dead or anything like that. Blade says Mark Strong would have made a great Mr. Freeze.
Oh yeah, that would have been a really good casting.
Would love to see it. Love to see it.
Mm-hmm. And Marvin, you're absolutely right. I still really want to see a movie that has Onslaught in it. So Onslaught was a combination of Professor Charles Xavier's and Magneto's consciousness combined into one insanely powerful entity.
Wow.
And I think that would be a very difficult character to do. Like, you can't just make a new X-Men movie and the main character is Onslaught. You're going to have several movies to develop both Charles Xavier, Magneto, and then have something that to where
that's a whole thing that they have to set up.
Yeah, they have to start over.
Yeah.
I mean, but honestly, also another
it now, Marvel. Do it now.
Another villain that I have not yet seen on the big screen that I've been dying to see is Clayface. Clayface could be one of these really cool supervillains in a live action movie, to where he could, since he's able to change himself into any person, you have all of this espionage that you can do, to where he's infiltrating, he's doing all of this undermining of the foundation of society kind of a thing. Mm-hmm. But then when you do fight him, he turns into a huge monster. So you have this villain that is very versatile in what he's able to do and how he's able to wreak havoc.
Yeah, absolutely. There's I mean, we could go on a villain conversation,
which I can
all day, every day, which kind of already did.
Got my sweaty on.
There you go.
But Marvin, thank you so much for your super chat.
Thank you.
I love it when we get questions that just
thought-provoking
sweatiness.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, it is now that time for us to switch gears and talk about all spoilers for the latest episode of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, episode 5, entitled Truth. So for everybody who has not watched the episode, and if this is the end of our time with you for today, we want to thank you so much for hanging out with us. But if you are staying, you guys, let's go ahead and talk about this episode. So this is the longest episode out of all the ones we have so far, which kind of makes sense. I feel like it makes sense that, each episode get a little bit longer, and each episode have essentially picked up from where it's left off. So this one, the aftermath of after John Walker killing Nico with his shield, he actually is running away from the scene, which honestly, I would have loved to see the moment of him from the plaza and like a little bit of the thought process there.
Yeah.
Instead of just kind of going into just him running, because I would have liked to see if something triggered his running, if people were yelling at him, throwing stuff at him, like, ah!
Yeah, that actually would have been really cool
him
to see.
Realizing, what have I done? I lost control. I was so angry, and trying to, in his head, come to terms with seeing his best friend being killed in action, things like that. I mean, we get a little bit of sense of that as he was running. He's replaying all this stuff back in his head, but yeah. I would have liked to see it from the plaza. But in any case, where we got to was an empty warehouse type of a thing, and the fight for the shield was on. And what a way to open an episode!
Yes, I thought that was an excellent way to start off with that conflict, with that battle, and with that fight. The subtext between just under when Bucky was like, "Yeah, we do." You don't
want to do this.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, we do.
Oh,
you have no idea how much we want to beat you down and take that shield.
Yeah.
And I know there's a lot of hate out there for
Mr. John Walker.
And a lot of it is rightfully so. Mm-hmm. I still feel like he makes a good villain kind of a thing. If you're going to turn John Walker into a villain, his story makes a good story to kind of tell, to where it is a little sympathetic. A guy who is highly decorated, who is by all rights an American hero. He has all of these gold medals, he has all of these medals, all of these awards, all of these honors, and then is given an impossible task. Mm-hmm. To add up to a man that is literally almost impossible to be as good as, and also to do it under resourced, to where, yeah, they give you the shield, But they don't give you the super soldier serum. They don't give you any kind of way to give you a leg up in the battle. And you can just slowly see him becoming more and more desperate and more. He's trying so hard to get Bucky and Sam on his side. Then he's like, well, then don't get in my way. And then just the frustration builds up and it just slowly breaks his character.
Yeah.
And you see, it's very much the fall of a hero. And it's a good story. Mm-hmm. But I just personally believe that John Walker deserves a little bit more sympathy than the hate that he's getting. And I'd love to know what you guys think about that too.
Let's go to the comments here. I don't really think right. Oh yeah, Vanja says guys a loose cannon, and that's the thing is that I'm not saying John Walker is not disciplined at all, but I think he's served more than just one tour. It sounds like
there was a moment when he said
how decorated he was
when he was talking to Lamar's parents,
right?
And he goes, we took that picture on our first tour.
Yeah, so the guy's been through a lot, and there's what I do like about the series is they do take a look at PTSD in all various different types of forms, because it can appear in so many different ways. Sorry, if I look distracted, I'm just trying to add all the photos that I had pulled that I thought I had put into our live stream for today, and then they all disappeared. So I wanted to put them back because I thought it'd be nice to have a little bit of a visual guide.
Couple visuals.
Yeah,
but that fight. I loved how whoever choreographed this fight between Falcon, between Bucky, and between John Walker, it was amazingly choreographed. I loved how they were able to have John Walker hold his own against these two amazing fighters. I mean,
well, for one, I think this fight was, to me, really explosive. It was really full of rage, and there's different intentions from every single character. We've got John Walker saying, you don't want to do this. The shield is mine. I didn't do anything wrong. This guy was working with the Flag Smashers, even though Nico may not have delivered the punch that killed Lamar. It's still almost like guilty by association in a way. And also that's the first guy he saw.
Technically, he's a terrorist.
And he's the first guy that he saw as he ran after to look for Carly. Didn't catch up with Carly, caught up with Nico. So, with the serum and everything coursing through his body, the rage, the anger, the sadness, and the loss did what he did. So it's John Walker's intention is, I'm not giving this up. This is my shield. I am Captain America. I said it several times in the show, just to kind of, he wants to try to grasp onto that title. I am Captain America, and I did my time, and I did help. It's like, and I did feel for him a little bit when we were sitting in the courtroom. We'll get to that in 2 seconds. But this fight was explosive. It was all the hard punches. We saw Falcon's wings literally being ripped out of its mechanism bracket. I almost feel like, and I know it's not really physically attached to Sam, as in it's not organically growing out of his body.
Yeah.
But when he ripped the wings, it made me feel like as if he actually did that. And it, so I know it doesn't hurt Sam in a physical way, doesn't send him to the hospital, but it still made me go, oh my God, this is so crazy. And the way they ripped that shield out of John Walker's hand, injuring probably broke his own hand.
They did. Remember, they broke his arm. You saw his arm, but it also was very reminiscent of Thanos.
Yeah.
When they're trying to take the glove off,
yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, this is such like that kind of a moment." And they knew how to hit those points and hit those moments that just would either have a good memory recollection of certain moments in Marvel history, to hit those moments when he's ripping off the wings. I'm just like, they did an amazing job on putting so much emotion into this fight. So I was blown away by this fight. It was a great way to start it.
I couldn't believe that's how they started the episode. It was very explosive. And then the rest of the episode, the pacing was a bit interesting because it set into a lot of serious conversations, a lot of montage after montage, which I love. Right. I love montage. I
love me a good 80s montage.
Yeah, so it's great. We have a super chat from Nash here. Nash, thank you so much. Nash writes, super important super chat here. Why are people attacking the actor for playing John Walker? I don't know. I think people have a hard time disassociating the actor from the role. We saw this with Daisy Ridley, and we saw this with Kelly Marie Tran. Both the ladies were kind of like decided to go off of social media because they were being attacked for the story, the ways the story or the character was written, which there is not their fault. They're hired to audition for a role, which then the job entails them to tell this story. This is the story. We're paying you to do this. What can you do with this? And this is their motivation. You can't, sure, you can workshop a little bit, but the course has been set already for these characters, and an actor's job as a storyteller is to portray that character to the best of their ability. So if people really, really hate John Walker, and every time you see him, you go, oh my God, John Walker, I don't like him. That means the actor is doing his in any time go to the actor's social media, try to DM, whatever, and send stupid death threats, like, you are bananas. You need to sit down and put your phone down and think about how this is. John Walker is not a person. John Walker exists in the comic books. He isn't, yeah. All these characters that we love, and we love talking about them, as we're doing right now, that's what we're doing. But these characters, they're fictional. They're comic book heroes. So basically what I'm saying is, don't attack actors for doing a good job. Yeah, and also it does really suck because it does. I mean, you can go back through so many different shows. I mean, Joffrey from Game of Thrones, he got death threats, but he did an amazing job playing that character. And I remember seeing an interview with him. He's the nicest guy in the world. He seems so nice. And he actually, after Game of Thrones, was like, didn't he stop? What? I'm done. Terrible. I'm done with this. And the more we do that, the more we attack these amazing actors, these hardworking actors who are bringing us these characters that, we're not supposed to like and portray them so well, but yet we attack the actors. We're losing actors. These actors are like, whoa, you know what? You literally scared them away. You're scaring them away. And it's obvious that these are good actors because they made you feel so strongly about a certain character, kind of a thing. And also, even if the actor does a terrible job and he's a horrible actor, don't send him death threats. Right. There's no need to do that. And think about it. It's not the road to becoming a successful actor, to be in a show or a movie, whether it's MCU, DCEU, Game of Thrones, things like that. You don't just wake up one day and say, I'm going to be an actor. Give me role here now. I will make the money and live this seemingly glamorous lifestyle. It doesn't work like that. No. It requires training, a lot of money spent for classes, for headshots, for agents, agents, you don't pay to have an agent. You pay them when you book a job. But you have to. It's a whole thing. You can wake up one day and decide, I want to be an actor, and you start your journey. You don't wake up and like no audition. You just like walk onto set. It does not happen like that. And it's also like auditioning, it's first call, then it's producer's call, and then chemistry read. It's several, like you don't do one audition, you just get the role. It's a couple, you have to audition, call back, chemistry read, meet with the producers, directors, whoever, clients. An actor's real job is auditioning, not really, it is real work. Professional auditioners. Set, but we're professional auditioners kind of a thing. Oh my God. So if I think it's okay to kind of jump into a conversation and have a discussion about maybe how you don't like the character and you think he's impatient or overly confident or whatever it may be. But at no point should you go and bother the actor for doing their job. If you don't like their acting, then you don't like it. Keep scrolling. You don't like their acting, that's fine. Yeah. Let it be. But don't do that. Go to their social media if you enjoy their work so much. Say nice job, exactly that. All right, couple of more super chats and we'll go back into our discussion. Sorry, I went off on a tangent there. It always makes me so mad when people attack the actors. I'm like, what? They're doing a job. Doing a job. Happened to Laura Bailey in The Last of Us too. That was terrible too. Really? Stupid. So stupid. Like, don't do that. Okay. This one, super chat comes from Cam K, who writes, is Spider-Man, thank you so much. Is Spider-Man in your, by the time they get to New York City? Timeline could easily align as long as 2 months have passed since the start of the show. Is Spider-Man, I'm trying to understand Cam's question. As in like, can Spider-Man be in New York
at the time that this event in Falcon and the Winter Soldier is happening. So the Flag Smashers are okay. So at the very end of the episode, we found out that the Flag Smashers are going to be attacking this vote that's going on to remove all of the refugees.
Mm-hmm.
Could Spider-Man be our big cameo that we're waiting for? Technically, oh my God, I didn't think about that at all. I never thought of that. Technically, that's Spider-Man's home turf. And would he be back from Europe in this? I'd have to go back. I would have to see about the timeline because we don't really know exactly how much time has passed. Or like what time of year it is. It is in New York by the time the Flag Smashers are about ready to destroy this vote. So we could see
Peter Parker would be if the timeline lines up.
I don't think we're going to see him because that is a big jump to be able to see Tom Holland.
After WandaVision, I'm not speculating on, even though that's one of the topics I did want to talk about to see who you guys think may show up for the final episode, like as in a big cameo. I personally don't think we're gonna get one at all. I think we already had a really big one in this one. I mean, I don't feel like you can just like JDL is what I'm deciding to because we have like Robert Downey Jr. and like RDJ, so we have JDL. No wait, JLD. Sorry, I'm saying it backwards. JLD. I don't feel like you would hire her to do a quick cameo, and everybody in the comment section of the reaction video has already talked about her role because Dustin and I haven't looked too much into it. So we appreciate everybody who commented to let us know a little bit more about that. But that's an interesting question, Cam.
I think that would be fun. I think that'd be super fun. However, I don't think it's going to happen.
It might not
but
happen.
Who knows? Maybe at this point, Peter Parker could be very much trying to stay hidden. He could very much be like, oh my gosh, everyone knows my secret identity now. He like goes to all of his friends, go to all of his family members and be like, everyone, you guys have to hide. Everyone now knows that I'm Spider-Man. All of you have to hide and I'm going to have to go underground. So it's very possible that Peter Parker is in hiding at this moment because, what is it?
Sorry. Something just came up in our Discord that's not in the movie couples Discord, but I'll explain later in our own Discord why we're completely off topic. But anyways, continue. I'm so sorry.
So it's very possible that if the whole conversation of, well, why didn't Spider-Man come and help the, what is it called? The government vote on this. It's very much because J. Jonah Jameson could have already made this huge announcement and now he is in hiding. And Peter Parker's like,
but honestly, we don't know. We honestly don't know. It's all speculation. But that would be an interesting and a very fun cameo. Huge cameo. I think unlikely. I personally really don't think they're going to do any cameos anymore with one episode live. Watch I be wrong. Watch they like, I don't know, Doctor Strange or somebody crazy shows up.
That'd be so cool. I would love to see a huge cameo because I would just lose my mind.
Yeah. Let's see. Super chat from Mr. Holdbrook. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
All right. This one says, so did Bucky have a thing for Steve's mom? Because he perked up when he found out Sam's sister was named Sarah. Oh, I didn't make the connection.
That could be a possibility.
Look, Bucky from day one, as we saw in the first Captain America, was a flirt through and through. And
well, we even saw it in this episode.
He was very charming, which I find that's why it was interesting to see him in episode 1 when he went on the date. That he was so awkward. I was like, where's the Bucky that we saw way back then? But I guess it's
with the two ladies after Steve walks out on them. Kind of thing.
Know?
But also how he was flirting with Sam's sister a lot. He's like, hey, how's it going?
I was like, no, don't cross
and
that
Sam
line.
is just looking at him going, no.
We don't do that here. We don't do that. But I mean, if they wanna flirt it up, I have no problem with it. I thought it was super cute, but I also think that's a great pickup there by Mr. Holdbook. I totally forgot that
Bucky had a thing for Steve's
Sarah.
Mom. I think that's cute. I think that's really
that would be super fun. Let's see.
We got one more super chat.
This one's from Ty. Ty writes, "Hi Wendy and Justin. Oh, sorry, Dustin. Do you think there is any possibility we see Steve, Old Man Cap, in the finale?" Now, a lot of people are speculating this.
That would be cool.
I feel like I've been seeing this on the internet that what if Steve does visit Sam for like a little conversation, a little pep talk? To me, though, they've been saying, both Bucky and Sam have saying Steve's gone. What does that mean technically? Gone as in he's no longer having anything to do with the Shield. He's completely retired, just wants to live out the rest of his old life. Did he actually did he die because he's super old? Or like, what is it? And also Chris Evans himself has said like, oh, I'm not reprising the role. Like, news to me. That's literally his quote. So I don't know. I think the one person we potentially could see in the finale would be Rhodey.
Oh yeah,
I think that's not really a cameo. We've seen
because
him already
we saw him in the first episode,
right? But I feel like if they were able to get Don Cheadle on set for like a day or two consecutively, couple of days, maybe he shoots out that episode and this final one, because typically they don't shoot shows in order.
Yeah,
they shoot shows as they need to.
And Rhodey is kind of at the moment filling the role of Iron Man. He is kind of filling the role of. Yeah, he's War Machine now. Mm-hmm. So there is no Iron Man. He would probably take up the Iron Man mantle, so to speak. Yeah. But I'm just.
But would we love to see it? Yes.
Would I love to see it?
We would absolutely love to see it.
Absolutely.
100%. Let's see. Oh, Cam says, guys, this isn't all happening on the same day. There could easily be 8 months at this point in the show.
True. And that's the whole thing. They are not very clear on how much time has progressed because
here this says Cam says I just mean this would explain why Spider-Man doesn't show up and why Falcon and Winter Soldier don't show up in Far From Home. There you go.
That makes sense.
All right, perfect. Glad I caught that. See, that time the chat didn't start flying by when I tried to click on it.
But honestly, I think that would be kind of cute, bringing Old Man Cap in. But here's also another thing: would you want to bring Chris Evans in? Or would you actually want to bring in someone who is like maybe the proper age?
I just don't think it'll be Chris Evans. I think he's like really, really done. But would I be surprised if he came back with whenever Marvel does anything, like I just don't trust like, oh, we won't do this, but then they do it, or we will do this and then they won't do it because they have to keep a bit of a secrecy on things so the fans can get the nice big surprise. So nothing's ever confirmed. Even when it's confirmed, maybe it's, so take it with a grain of salt. This one?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, Debbie says it here. Kevin Feige shot down Chris Evans rumors and he never flat out denies anything.
It's very rare for Kevin Feige to ever come out and go, no.
There's always that gray area that they work in. They're like, well, we don't know, or we can't say anything at the moment. Like they just don't say anything.
They don't say anything at all. But for Kevin Feige to actually come out and go, no, he is not doing that, is then okay, fine.
Yeah.
But then again, I always think of who did Star Trek, the director. He also did Star Wars. Brain not working.
Oh, J.J. Abrams?
J.J. Abrams. Thank you very much. J.J. was like, no, Benedict Cumberbatch isn't playing Khan. Anytime I think of anyone denying or saying, yes, it is, I always think of that moment to where you're like, oh, okay, I guess he's not going to be Khan. Oh, okay. Nope, he is. He 100% is.
Look, 10 out of 10 would love to see Chris Evans Cap.
Oh yeah,
show up.
That'd be cool.
1 out of 10 actually thinking he's going to show up. That's my true feeling on it. I would love it, but I don't think it's going to happen. Super chat from, is it Michael or Mikhail? So sorry if I'm saying your name incorrectly. Thank you so much for your super chat. Right, Falcon and the Winter Soldier takes place a couple of months before Far From Home.
Okay. That makes sense.
I feel like I need a giant whiteboard with the timeline.
Like Marvel timeline.
And just like color coded with photo references because it's starting to get a little like warped up in my head for some reason.
No, and honestly, it's one of those things to where since the movies come out at different times and they take place at different points in the timeline, it is very hard to keep track of everything.
Yeah, absolutely. Super, super hard. But thank you guys for the clarification there. It's super helpful. A couple of other major things to talk about in the show. We see that John Walker loses the title of Captain America, which led him one. I did, and I said this during our reaction to that, like, I don't necessarily agree with all of his methods, but I really did feel he got handed the
shit end of the stick.
Yeah, pretty much, because to have served, your country prior to becoming Captain America, and then the retire with no title, without benefits, it's kind of like not even a little bit for doing what he did prior to, like, I understand the gravity and seriousness of killing a foreign national on their own ground. Like, that's huge, but still, like, I felt, sorry, was that confusing?
No.
Okay, so you're looking at me like, what are you saying?
But yeah, but it's kind of like, you did all of this amazing stuff. You took on this impossible task. You failed horribly at this one thing. So now we're taking everything away from you. Mm-hmm. And I'm kind of like, for killing someone that was branded as a terrorist kind of a thing. And someone that was known to have the super soldier serum in them, which is another illegal thing.
Well, that's just, I don't think they know. I don't think the government knows that he took it.
Oh, that he took it? No, I was saying about the guy that
Nico. Yeah.
They knew that Nico had it. They knew that he was a super soldier. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it was kind of like a threat. I mean, he was branded as a terrorist, and he was had the super soldier serum. Mm-hmm. So I really do think that, them taking away all of his stuff, all of his honors, all of his titles, it's one step below I think it's one step below dishonorable discharge.
Yikes. Yeah, and I think they even said that. Mm-hmm. Some of the other things too we saw in the episode there, an end for Zemo. Well, an end for now for Zemo, where nice conversation that he had, very meaningful conversation, I feel like, between him and Bucky in Sokovia in front of the memorial that he says you guys have never visited. And pulling the gun on Zemo and almost proving to him that I am not the killer that you have created and you still think that I am today. Like, I'm making my amends. This is me doing the right thing, handing him over to the Wakandans and the Dora Milaje taking him to the raft. Which means to me he is gonna just break out again. I feel like you can't keep Zemo captured for too long. He always has a way, and I know the raft is supposed to be like high security, blah blah blah, this and that. But I think he's somebody's getting out.
I would love to see just a little bit of, like, maybe an end credit scene of Zemo being put on the raft, and you get like this hallway shot of Zemo kind of going into his cell, and on the left side you see something that looks like the Abomination. On the other side you see another supervillain that has been locked up. Mm-hmm. And you just get this moment of seeing, here's a reminder of all of the villains that we do still have access to here at Marvel that you might be able to see sooner or later, and give us just a little bit of a tease.
Yeah, and Anime Vision here says it the best, and I've seen the speculation all over internet and social media, as Zemo will be part of the Thunderbolts.
I've heard that too. I think that's honestly, that would be a great little story to tell. To tell the story of the Thunderbolts. Yeah. But then you have to bring in Norman Osborn, which
potentially we could.
They could, but the thing is, though, technically Marvel still does not own the rights to Norman Osborn, because that is Spider-Man. So I think they would probably have to do a little bit of finagling, a little bit of like, well, instead of Norman Osborn, maybe we can get a different villain in there to kind of be the leader. Honestly, Thunderbolt Ross would probably be good, and call them the Thunderbolts, and that's why he gets the Red Hulk serum. So, thank you so much.
2000, what the heck? Thank you so much.
Thanks so much, man.
Wow. All right, let's get to it. Thank you. So it's been confirmed that Julia Louis-Dreyfus is supposed to make her debut in Black Widow, but since it's been delayed, she appears in Falcon and the Winter Soldier after seeing her with Walker and Zemo in the raft. Do you think this is a start to the Thunderbolts? So glad that you brought this up. So let's talk about it. JLD, again, when I saw her, I was like, it's Elaine! Always the first thing, despite all the other things that she's done. I'm like, Elaine! Yeah, I think so. And I don't know if you read the comments already on the reaction video.
I didn't get a chance to read all of them.
Okay, so do you care if I say it? Because
go ahead.
Okay. So she shows up, she introduces herself, Contessa Valentina Allegra de Fontaine, aka Madame Hydra, is what the chat is saying.
That's who.
Not this chat specifically, but specific to the comments, to the reactions. So her kind of initial conversation with John Walker, to him really holding on to that title of Captain America, to him making his own shield at the end in our first mid-credit scene of the entire series. We're just gonna get probably one more. I think leads up to definitely she is not going to, this is not the first or the last, this is the first time we've seen her, yes, not the last time we're going to see her, because she's definitely have a much bigger role to play. My favorite though is how much fun she seems to have with this character.
She did.
Walks in, the boots they look killer, but they're not for walking. Hands over not even a business card.
Blank card. I wouldn't be surprised if that blank card actually does has something on it, but is either like a tracker or a communication device or something like that. Yeah. So I'm really curious. I'm dying to see the development of her character. But honestly, yeah, with all of that information, it makes so much sense that they are working their way towards the Thunderbolts. And either they are planning to make a Thunderbolts TV series, or in Falcon and the Winter Soldier season 2, that's what they're going to have to compete with, is the fact that they are either going to have to fight the Thunderbolts, or the government is trying to get Bucky and Sam to work with the Thunderbolts, and they're like, there's no way, we're not working with these guys. They're all psychos and criminals. And they're like, well, you already worked with Zemo, and you already kind of worked with John Walker.
Yeah.
So,
well, John Walker, I think, is a little different, because the time they did work with him, he was under, he did have the title Captain America. A couple of comments here in the chat. Gaming fan writes, Taskmaster, Zemo, U.S. Agent Abomination, Deadpool, and Justin Hammer for Thunderbolts. Cam K saying, I'm betting good. Taskmaster and Abomination will also be Thunderbolts. I feel Walker is heading in a Dark Avengers direction. That's really interesting. And I mean, there's so much to this whole, this series, from WandaVision to, I don't know what we're gonna get to see in Black Widow, to Falcon and the Winter Soldier. There's just all these doors are opening, windows are opening, doggy doors are opening. There's so many different storylines that can be threaded together and also expand into their own thing. It's really, really exciting.
And to see that, they can go in so many different directions at Marvel now. I mean, now that they have Disney Plus and they can put things on there, they can focus on the motion pictures. They can tell so many amazing stories, and I just can't wait to see all of them. I can't wait to see which direction they're going. The fact that we're drooling over the Thunderbolts. I mean, just 5 years ago,
nothing's even been confirmed yet, and we're already talking about it. Yeah, it's great.
Do you think? I mean, do you honestly think that 5 years ago you could have been like, they're going to be, I'm so excited because now they're going to be making a Thunderbolts TV show, or they're going to have some form of media that has the Thunderbolts in it,
That's crazy.
So I'm so excited to see that. To see which direction that they go, and the possibilities are endless.
Jaden here says Valentina DeFontaine was a member of the Leviathan in the comics.
Oh,
interesting. And he also said, there was an earlier comment that I caught a glimpse of, and then I naturally lost because of the nature of the way comments or the chat works, and it scrolls up and I can't find it. But saying that maybe Valentina is not Jaden was saying that Valentina is not technically Madam Hydra, is that she impersonated her for a while.
Oh, okay.
I'd love to see how that's going to play out. And also, kind of to Biggie Tron's point here in the super chat, I so wished that timeline wise everything worked out the way it's supposed to, because imagine seeing her in Black Widow first and then having her walk in and that slow pan up the reveal, and we're fans, because that's that cameo, and that's that sort of, you're just oh my gosh. So now I can't wait. I'm even more excited to see Black Widow now that we know that her character will also be in the movie. So I want to watch the movie when it comes out, and then go back and rewatch this episode specific.
Yes, just to get the
feeling of just being oh my gosh, it'll be so great. And I want to point out something that Soccer TL says. By the way, less than honorable discharge is 2 steps above dishonorable. discharge and 2 steps below honorable discharge. So right in the middle of discharge status.
Thank you for that clarification.
Thank you.
Now that makes a lot more sense now that's something that they would give him. And I guess I did talk out of turn because technically I did not really know the finer details
because we haven't served.
But thank you for clearing that up for us. Clearing that up for us. That's important information to know.
Let's see, another super chat. My gosh, Boogie-tron, thank you so much. Boogie-tron writes, do you think it's a bad idea to bring back the original Spidey villains, specifically Doc Ock and Osborn, because they each had a very satisfying end? I don't think it's a bad idea, especially if we think they're going to play with the multiverse a little bit. But it also, you're right, it would be a bad idea if the story is like flat and terrible and you're just bringing it back for nostalgia purposes.
I think the better way
I like this question a lot.
I think the better way to state it is that it's dangerous and tricky. However, if they pull it off, it could be completely amazing. However, there are going to be a lot of ways that this could go terribly wrong. There's many ways that this could end up being just a complete and utter disaster. However, I would love to see this reunion. I would still like to see kind of this very meta, oddball kind of situation with bringing in characters from different universes, bringing in not just Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, but maybe bring in Miles Morales, bring in other universes.
Spider-Gwen,
definitely bring in the Spider-Gwen.
Does.
And I think...
am I going to get copyright strike because I sing the song?
I hope not.
Gosh. We'll see.
You never know. It's Fingers that crossed. Soon. But I don't think you said it loud enough. However, I'm excited to see what they do with it. Marvel has won my confidence over the years, even though, don't get me wrong, there has been many times where you're just like, why did you do that? Why did you do the Mandarin like that? Kind of a thing. So yeah, it could turn out horribly wrong. However, it could turn out amazing.
I'm confident that they're going to do it right, though. But I do agree that you're kind of a little worried, like, oh, they both had good ends, so why bring them back again? So we'll see. True. We'll see in what way they play with that. How they're going to reintroduce them back into this universe and how their journey will be throughout the movie. JJG writes, thank you so much, by the way, for your super chat. Writes, what do you think was in the box from Wakanda? A new Captain America suit or vibranium wings or both? Okay, so I thought about this a little bit. And yeah, I know you're thinking wings.
I have my theory. Well, I have a feeling. Oh, you tell yours first because you're answering it, and then I will tell mine.
Okay, I think the box may be a little too small for the wings. What's in the box? I think it's a little bit too small to fit inside the wings, even with the backpack like bracket. I feel to me that the box seems a little bit too little. I would 100% love some Wakanda vibranium tech in a new cap suit for Sam. And if it looks anything like the comics, that would look super. It just looks so cool. Because you know what we saw when the Scarlet Witch costume was fully revealed. Right, and we're like, how are they going to do it? It's not going to look like how it did in the comics, even though they kind of gave us a little bit of that via the Halloween episode, but they gave us like the updated, more modern version, which we absolutely love. So I wonder how much. I don't feel like, honestly, the comic book one is too out of date. Like if I saw it on his person, they'll probably mute the colors down a little bit. It won't be a bright red. It'll be a little bit more of a burgundy, like the Scarlet Witch, maybe a little bit brighter than that, and the blue. I would love to see that, but for me, it's still hard to imagine Sam without wings because I'm so used to him doing that, and he looks so cool. But that's what I think. I think that in the box is not wings, but it's a suit.
Yeah, I think it's both. I think it's a full-on. I think he, in a sense, kind of commissioned Wakanda to be like, hey, Sam is taking on the mantle of Captain America. I would like to give him something that can make it so he can hold his own, look damn good doing it, and also still have his wings. Yeah. So I think I wouldn't be surprised if it's very much like a backpack that has the wings, and then when he pushes a button, his suit comes on, and you see kind of like the Falcon Captain America costume from the comics or something similar to it with the wings, and he's just ready to go into battle. And maybe you can get like instead of the Captain America vibranium shield, he would have some Wakandan tech on there too. But he already has the Captain American shield. So maybe it's just the wings and just a brand new, cool looking red, white, and blue Captain American Falcon suit.
Yeah. I mean, it could be all of the above, to be honest with you. I'm saying suit, you're saying suit and wings. I think we got our bases covered. Let us know what you guys think is in the box, in the comments or in the chat as we continue to talk about these spoilers. I definitely want to talk about the conversation that, and there's some graphics that I didn't put up earlier. Here's one of Zemo. But we gotta talk about this man. We gotta talk about Isaiah Bradley. I have been hoping that we revisited him, and I was hoping that it would be Sam that did it. So we got a really nice, heavy conversation between Sam and Isaiah, and it just like
it broke my heart.
Isaiah had already kind of hinted to it as to why he didn't want to be involved, and like the only reason he was even talking to Bucky in the first place because he wanted to see it for himself, like how is this? But obviously he's dealt with a lot of trauma. He was treated very poorly, experimented on, 30 years behind bars for serving his country as a guinea pig, leading his family to believe that he's dead. And it was thankfully to one nurse that saved all those letters from his deceased wife, to, pronouncing him dead so that he could just go and so he can have what's left over of life. But the trauma is going to be there forever. And I am really happy that we got to see Isaiah himself telling the story and telling that to Sam, and kind of talking about the gravity of the entire situation, and and also plays into Sam's kind of conflicted feeling about whether he should take up the mantle or not. At first he said it doesn't feel right, but then he got firsthand experience that what happens if the shield is not in his hands. We saw what happened. It didn't go well.
You can't, obviously. You can't trust the government with that shield, in a sense.
No.
They're
the second he gave it up.
And look at the person that they chose to be Captain America. They didn't choose someone of any kind of ethnicity. They chose blonde hair, blue eyes. Mm-hmm. That's exactly what Isaiah pointed out. And I'm just like, to hear that side of the story, to hear what exactly happened to him, I think just brings this full colored character to the light, and you can sympathize, and you can, honestly, it was just amazing. And I think it was incredible writing and something Sam really needed to hear.
The conversation needed to be had for sure. So I'm happy that we saw it. And I wonder, and I know there's only one episode left. So is there enough time for them to bring back Isaiah for anything else? I don't know. If there were to be a season 2, also not confirmed, would love to see just for them to revisit Isaiah from time to time. Just would really love to see that, because I think he's got a lot of useful experience, or useful what's the word of antidote? No.
Life
experiences to give to impart on Sam.
Yeah. And having that knowledge from the past, kind of a thing, to give you a more full, a more rounded picture of exactly, what's going on.
Death Star Kitty writes, in my headcanon, the nurse is Peggy Carter. I honestly was kind of thinking the same thing. Like if they ask her, like, what's her name?
Peggy.
Or just say Carter.
Carter.
Because that could mean anything. It could be like, Carter is not an uncommon last name.
No, true.
So, but it would give the fans out like, oh my gosh, she's involved. So, but who knows?
She might also be a part of that. She would be a part of those experiments too with the super soldier serum. She would know about it. She would definitely know about anything that the government did that was trying to redo the next Captain America, so to speak.
Yeah. Well, you guys, as we kind of get to the end of our spoiler discussion here, I really wonder what we're going to see the next episode, because these two definitely parted ways for the time being, and they're going off on their own thing. You know, Sam, we got a nice training montage, superhero montage, lots of showing off his beefy arms.
Oh, and you definitely know he was on the superhero diet.
Yeah, get that chicken breast and broccoli. It's all you eat. God, I could not. This is why I'm not in movies, because I don't have the self-discipline. I like fried food too much.
Oh my gosh, so much.
Honestly.
I mean, so much that we'll make a whole video on us going to Wiener Schnitzel.
Or make the horrible s'mores, terrible, badly melted together cookie. Anyways, the vlogs are on our channel if you guys want to check them out. But the show is called Falcon and the Winter Soldier, so I don't see Bucky not being in the final episode.
Oh, he better be.
Yeah, just I'm curious to see what they're doing as they go off to their thing. Also, let's talk about Sharon Carter, who got very little screen time in this episode, but she was on the phone with the Leaper. Batrock?
Well, we don't know if she was actually on the phone with him.
So the comments in the reaction video saying that it is, because some of our viewers watch with captions on. So if you watch with captions on, it says that Sharon is talking to that person.
Oh,
and then later when Carly was talking with it's the same person. So in that way, the subtitles confirmed it.
Got it.
So that brings to the question, what's Sharon's end game? I still don't think she's power broker.
No,
I don't think she is. But
you don't know
how close is she working with power broker, because she's a spy and she needs to get in, infiltrate, get close, and get out. But like, what's the end game there?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So I'm very curious to what part she will play in this. And then we missed a couple of super chats.
Yes,
one from Noel.
Yep.
Noel writes, "Hi guys. How negligent will Strange look if two major incidences, Westview and GRC, go down in the New York area and he's a no-show?" Well, I guess I wonder if that'll be explained that's a good point, Noel. If it'll be explained later on in Doctor Strange 2.
Who knows? Yeah, honestly.
He's like somewhere in the multiverse and he's not there, so he's not able to help.
Well, and that also makes sense. After the events of Endgame, he probably has a lot of cleaning up to do, because technically, even though the Infinity Stone split and then went, split realities and then came back, there's still going to be maybe a few moments of time to where they don't exist in that reality. So Doctor Strange might, even though he might have known all of this was going to happen when he was doing his whole time warp thing,
seeing 50 million possibilities,
he very much could be in other universes trying to take care of different realities, different things that have broken. Oh my gosh, what the heck is Wanda Maximoff doing, kind of a thing.
Well, that's a problem I gotta take care of first, or something. Who knows?
So, and we know that there's all these problems going on in the multiverse, because we know that Spider-Man's happening.
There's a lot happening inside the MCU, guys. I feel like everybody is super busy right now. The characters, not the actual actors.
Yes,
I mean, they are too, but there's so much going on. So I do wonder how they're going to approach that subject of like, well, what happened to the rest of the Avengers? How come they're not helping out, and kind of going from there?
Well, and that was one of the big problems in earlier points of the MCU.
Yes.
In Iron Man 2, people were like, well, where's Captain America? Why isn't Captain America helping out here? Why isn't Iron Man helping out in Winter Soldier, kind of a thing? So I'm pretty sure we're going to get some answers, because I'm pretty sure Kevin Feige has, been like, hey, you know what? We kind of got a lot of slack for this. Not a lot of slack. We got a lot of crap for this before. Let's see if we can make sure that we will explain in each movie why we're getting solo movies now, kind of a thing, and no longer why they're separate for so long.
Well, that's kind of why I've been liking the fact that they've expanded to TV shows.
Yes,
it's because it can help fill in the gap, or give these certain characters a better, like a more well-rounded story, and flesh out certain storylines. So this is, guys, tip of the iceberg here. I mean, we literally only had 2 Marvel shows on Disney Plus with Loki coming, and who knows what else. We know that they announced a bunch, but there's, I think, so much more coming down the pipeline. And I'm trying not to, it's very easy to get super excited because I do it all the time and wanting to be like more before I even see more than XYZ shows. But it's just we love the stuff. We get super excited for it, and why not? The super chat comes from Sean Banks. Thank you so much. Sean writes, the Isaiah talk had me in tears. Yep. America doesn't want a black cap America, and no self-respecting black man would want to. Tough choice for Sam. And I think that played into the conversation that Sam was having with Sarah a little bit later, where Sarah's like, no, you're not going to let that old man get into your head, are you?
Yeah.
But the thing is that I don't think Isaiah was wrong in saying what he said because of his own personal experience, but also Sam wanting to do what's right, and wanting to, I guess, help correct course and, make sure that that shield, that symbol is how Steve left it.
Yeah.
And that moment when in the very beginning, when they were fighting for the shield and Bucky dropped it next to Sam, like, here's your shield back. Can't believe you gave it up in the first place. And Sam, there was no words and just a little bit of almost like he wanted to cry. I almost cried, and just immediately wiping the blood with his bare hands off the shield. Like, it's like the shield should never look like this. This is now tainted. That scene, just a little bit of scene there, but I felt like more powerful.
Yeah. And you've also got to look at the different perspectives of Sam and Isaiah. Isaiah saw the worst of the worst kind of a thing. He never got to meet the icon Captain America.
He just saw like the poster boy and all the stuff that they were making him do, go on tour and like with the dancers and like join the army, enlist in America. And
the thing is, Isaiah never, it happened between the time before, after Captain America left in World War II and before he came back. So there was this time to where there was no Captain America. So the government was desperately trying to find someone to fill the shoes, but yet there's still that bias and racism in there at that time. So Isaiah just got thrown right into that just cesspool of nastiness. But Sam is coming around to where he got to meet the real Captain America. It has taken 30 years later after the series of some of these events. And now, when Isaiah was like, no self-respecting black man would ever want the mantle. But it's now a little different from Sam's perspective because he saw what the mantle actually means, not this bastardization of what the government thought that their country needed.
Like with John Walker.
Yeah, exactly.
They need this.
So Sam now has this new perspective, and it's a very complicated situation. So I think Sam really does deserve and respect that mantle.
Yeah, absolutely. We're all waiting for Sam to pick up that shield and get the suit on and whatever it is. And maybe Torres can be his on your left, and because he left the wings, right? Yep. So I don't know, speculating. I don't want to speculate too much. We all remember Mephisto, okay?
Yeah, true. And also, there's some, we still don't have a rebuilt Red Wing. Maybe Torres will be his Red Wing.
With it.
He'll have his own set of wings.
That'd be so cool.
That'd be cool.
Can't wait. Another super chat from Boogietron 2000.
Thank you so much.
Oh my gosh. Boogietron writes, with the finale coming, how excited to see the between two ideals of America. John, the dark American militarism, and Sam, the last shred of hope for the country. That's going to be really interesting. I wonder if there will be a final showdown between John Walker and Sam. I feel like John Walker's story may end here with him building his own shield and sort of that hint at the conversation he had with Valentina. And we can see how that's going to play out later, whether it's in the show, if we get a second season, or in a future film. I think what's going to really happen here at the end is how Sam approaches this entire scenario surrounding the Flag Smashers.
Yes.
Because they literally have infiltrated the voting. And I think if she has her way, I think a lot more people are going to die. We don't want that. No more killing, no more dying. So, but I could be wrong. I could be wrong. John could come up and be like, you take that shield away from me, but I'm always going to be, I don't know, whatever the writers have written for them, for the lines to say. That's going to be really interesting.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see where they're planning to take John Walker's story.
Yeah.
So, and plus this is the thing, we don't really know in which direction they're going to go. They could be like, oh, let's follow the comic books. And it could be very much like, you know what? No, we're going to go in a completely new direction. But it is going to be interesting to see whether or not they're going to villainize him or kind of try to make him his attempt to redeem himself as a hero. Yeah. Kind of a thing. That's why why I'm so excited about this show, is because this whole time we're like, we could see kind of like the paths that they wanted to take, but we don't know which one they're actually going to go down.
Yeah. Oh man, there was a comment that I saw and now I can't see it.
Story of the live stream.
Devin Craig writes, but even in the comic books, unless there was a need for collaboration, most heroes had their own solo storylines.
No, very true. And that is something that kind of, because you did have the solo Doctor Strange storylines. You had the solo Captain America, and only on big events did they actually team up kind of a thing.
So with that said, what do you guys want to see in the finale? We only have one episode left, and I feel like we're just now getting started. Like, he just got his shield back. How can there only be one more episode left?
Because there's a season 2 coming.
I hope so. I know it's not. I don't think it's confirmed because they're not sure how they want to do. Was it Feige who said that? That like there's no set way to say this show will get a season, this show will not get a second season or whatever. Like, I think it really all depends on how the story and the movies play out. So it all has to make sense. So this show could easily be a one-off depending on how they ended. And there's still so many other, factors coming into play. But I think what I would like to see, obviously, I am dying to see what's inside the Wakandan box.
Oh my gosh.
Open the box. You had like the last 15 minutes to open the box, and he doesn't. I was like, we're going to end the episode here, aren't we? They're going to let us see it. They're going to dangle it like a little worm on a hook in front of us. So we have to tune into next week's episode in order to see what is next. I feel like next week's episode could potentially be even longer than this one, just by a couple of minutes.
Probably.
Finding out maybe who... I don't know if they'll tell us, but finding out who the power broker is.
I think if they don't tell us, I think that's a stronger case to be made for a season 2.
Yeah.
If they do tell us, we could still get a season 2, I guess. But I'm curious. Yeah, I have no idea. I have no idea whether or not they're going to tell us. I'm a lot more reserved with my fan theories now.
I know. We learned from WandaVision to not speculate too much. Here's what I don't think we'll see. I don't think we'll see Zemo.
No.
I think his story is done for now. I think we'll definitely see more of Sharon. It might be a Sharon heavy all about Sharon. It has to be, more. I would like to see more Sam than Sharon, but I love her so much, and I don't feel like we got enough of her. Other than that one really kick-ass episode, that I think this will be a lot of Sharon and see what part she had to play in all of this. So reading about what you guys were saying.
I think Zemo will have the end credit scene.
You think so? Him being put in the raft?
I think Zemo will have end credit scene, or Zemo's already in the raft and Val comes to talk to him about something.
Intrigue.
Or who I really want to see, Thunderbolt Ross, because I want to see Red Hulk.
Can you imagine?
That would be so cool.
That would be cool. I'm not gonna get too excited about it, but yeah, for sure. Let's see. Casey friend writes, I want to see Sam and Bucky kick butt. Don't we all? I hope it sets up for more. Feige already said that Sam and Bucky are important to the MCU going forward.
Okay, well then that
makes me more hopeful for a season 2.
Yes,
I think,
and also
really
for
great.
them to be appearing in multiple properties.
You know what I would want to see? Bucky going back to Yuri and telling him about his son.
Oh,
after that conversation he had with Sam.
Right.
Sam literally was a better therapist than the therapist. Not a better. Okay, hold on. Let me slow my roll and
did more for her.
I think he was able to level with Bucky on a different level than the therapist.
No, That's
true. Actually a better way to put it. I don't think
true.
she's a bad therapist. I think after what both Bucky and Sam went through together prior to all of this and during all of this, during the show, I think the way he said it and resonated a little bit more with Bucky, and maybe that's what Bucky's going to do.
Well, how many times have your parents told you when you were a kid something that is a lesson that they would want you to learn?
Yeah.
Oh, you have to do it like this. You have to say this or something like that. And then you're like, oh, whatever, Mom, whatever, Dad. You never listen to them. But then your friend comes and says the exact same thing to you. And then you go, oh, I get it. And then your parents.
I do that to you a lot.
And then your parents go, that's the same thing we've been telling you the entire time. Kind of a thing.
Poor parents.
Yeah. So the therapist kind of has the role of the parent, and Sam is the one who's the best friend who's going, buddy, I have some words of wisdom for you.
Yeah. Well, you guys, this brings us to the end of our spoiler discussion and show live stream for today. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. If you haven't done already, we would love it if you gave this video a big fat thumbs up just to help us out in the YouTube algorithm world. Helps a lot more than you think. So if you haven't done it, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't already. We've got one more episode of Falcon and the Winter Soldier to do a reaction to. So we'll be doing that. And what happens once Falcon and the Winter Soldier ends, we're going to switch over to The Bad Batch, which comes out on May 4th. So Star Wars Day, essentially, I think we get 2 episodes, and then I think they do and I think they also air on the 7th.
Ooh.
But I'm not sure. I have to look into that.
The more the merrier.
Yeah, so we'll be doing reactions for those as well. And if there's a demand for it, then we'll go ahead and do a little bit of spoiler talk for The Bad Batch as well. So if you're a Star Wars fan, if you love the Clone Wars and the Rebels and animation, things like that, we will be here to fill that need until we get to Loki. Then we'll do this all over again. So thank you all so much for hanging out with us. We love you guys. Thank you for the support via Super Chat. We appreciate it so much. I can buy new editing software. That's where the money is going next. New editing software, because the one that I'm using ain't cutting it. All right, you guys. We love you. Thank you so much. And we will see you. I got to take this one off. There you go. We will see you on Wednesday for another live stream. Bye, guys.